Happy Monday to you. The world did not blow up over the course of the weekend. We are still here. Everyone seems to be fine. Donald Trump is starting to realize that maybe things aren't going to go so smoothly with North Korea. This is actually one of the funniest graphs I've read in a long time in anywhere, frankly. Where do I have this here? Okay, it's number 3 in my packet. This is from the New York Times. The headline being, Donald Trump grappling with risks of proceeding with North Korea meeting. I mean, in some way, honestly, this is complimentary because he's like, dawn is beginning to rise on Marblehead. It would be much worse if it was still dark. President Trump increasingly concerned that his summit meeting in Singapore next month with North Korea's leader could turn into a political embarrassment. He has begun pressing his aides and allies about whether he should take the risk of proceeding with the historic meeting that he had leapt into accepting. This is according to administration and foreign officials. It's always nice when your most trusted aides are basically throwing you under the bus. To the New York Times, Mr. Trump was both surprised and angered by a statement issued on Wednesday by the North's chief nuclear negotiator, who declared that the country would never trade away its nuclear weapons capability in exchange for economic aid, an administration official said. The statement, while a highly familiar tactic by the North, represented a jarring shift in tone after weeks of conciliatory gestures. On Thursday and Friday, Mr. Trump peppered aides with questions about the wisdom of proceeding. And on Saturday night, and this is sort of sad here, so we should probably play this. Hold on for 1 second. This is on Saturday night. Let's bring it down just a little bit. On Saturday night, he called President Moon Jae-in of South Korea to ask why the North's public statement seemed to contradict the private assurances that Mr. Moon had conveyed after he met with Kim Jong-un at the demilitarized zone in April. But you said he promised.
And Moon was like, it's politics, Nobel Prize, right? Right? Nobel Prize.
I nominated you for a Nobel Prize, Mr. President. The president's conversation with Mr. Moon, which was first reported by the Washington Post, came just 3 days before the South Korean leader was scheduled to arrive in Washington to meet with Mr. Trump on Tuesday. It was a sign of Mr. Trump's discomfort. Some officials speculated that he could not wait to discuss the issue until Mr. Moon arrived for his meetings here. We've all been in relationships like this, right? Where
I'm feeling really anxious.
One party does not have the proper patience. Trump's aides are also concerned about what kind of grasp he has on the details of the North Korea program. And what he must...
It's actually genuinely unfair to him to even bring that up as a thing. He's going to have a grasp of the North Korean intricacies of North Korea policy. Come on.
I'm grappling with it, okay?
They're also concerned about what he must insist upon as the key components of denuclearization. Mr. Moon and his aides reported that Mr. Kim seemed highly conversant with all elements of the program when the two met. Oh, boy. Unbelievable.
I love how Kim basically is just right, I get it. The bouffant, the cult, me and my dad, it's weird. But, I know what I'm doing here. I'm actually pretty savvy. I've inherited a dictatorship from my dad and basically muscled out some of, the toughest generals on the planet. Killed my uncle. I think I know what I'm doing here, you moron. This isn't calling it to
so
Howard Stern, you jackass. And yes, I did listen to those tapes.
It's so embarrassing. But Dennis Rodman said you were just a plain guy.
He's Dennis Rodman would actually do better than you fool.
Let's let him handle this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I honestly,